Welcome back to the exclusive Realm of Runes Patreon channel. Today we're going to continue on with our series about those beautiful handmaidens of Frigg. So far we've discussed Fulla and her role. Now we move over to that great protector, Hlin. Hlin's name means protector. It can also mean refuge. It can also mean helper. It also has a lot to do with her attributes. It's that protector, goddess, handmaiden of Frigg and the role that she has with her. She's often depicted with a sword and a shield, protecting those who are in need of refuge. Now, Hlin's name also has a synonym, Hliner, and what that means is tranquility. It's because she helps us rise above adversity to find the peace within ourselves when we've gone through something very difficult or when we're needing to escape and get that refuge. Now, scholars still debate a few things about Hlin. We do find there are representations of her in the prose and poetic Eddas, but in the Voluspa, there is some academic discourse out there on whether or not they believe it actually is referring to Hlin herself or to Frigg, actually. In the Skaldskaparmal, you'll find Hlin listed with 27 other Aesir names. Now, you might hear a slight change in my pronunciation occasionally when I mention Hlin. The Hlin version is one version of the spelling in her name, but we find in a lot of the skaldic works, especially in kennings for women, she is listed as Lin, L-I-N. And she also has various different names that she's mentioned in the skaldic works and others that are found in reference to her. For example, Hlin Hlin of the Rings. We find Hlin, Godith Vefar, Hlin of the Velvet, and Arm Hlin, which has its own explanation. Perhaps the right arm of Frigg. We find Hlin in veneration in modern Germanic paganism and heathenry, and it's akin to the earlier venerations of those matron deities. But Hlin takes us one step deeper than some of the other handmaids. Each has their role in protecting the family and looking over the things within our emotional intelligence, how we deal and cope with situations in life. Each one has an attribute, and the beautiful part about Hlin is she has a very human and mortal connection to us, which makes it easy for us to access her or to ask for her to intercede on our behalf with the Allmother, Frigg. Yet Hlin has her own sorrows, and her sorrows are her inability to protect those closest to Frigg. For example, the death of Balder. The second thing is her second sorrow. That is the foretold death of Odin. And although Hlin is a goddess of protection, she is also a goddess of consolation, of grieving, and of mourning. And Hlin can be called upon not only as that protection, but to help others, even ourselves, in innocence, even children, who are trying to flee from particularly bad or difficult situations as that protector, but also in that mourning and consolation role. It is said in much of shared UPG that when you're calling upon Hlin for that help and that consolation when you're mourning and grieving terribly, that your tears are what matter most to her. And you'll know why in a bit, because she does have that mortal human connection. She understands that pain better than some of the other goddesses may. She's often depicted as carrying sword and shield. But when we're looking for the attributes of help through our grieving and our loss and our mourning, she's often been called to be seen wearing a dark, long gray veil, a veil of mourning, which is quite beautiful. Hlin can be called upon to not only help us during these difficult times, but also to restore our hope and our dreams, our will to continue, to restore that which within us has been damaged. And a great one of her correspondences is the red-tailed hawk. Now, interestingly, Hlin is the daughter of Ran. She's her sea mother. She also gave up her Aesir birthright and the birthright of Ran when she chose to marry a mortal man. She made herself human and fell in love, and she raised a family and lived very happily until her family was taken from her, until they were killed. And the sorrow and grief that she had, the words were not enough. She knew how deeply the pain was. She knew how bad it felt. The tears were all she could do to grieve and to cry. There's a huge correspondence here between crying a sea of tears. One of the ways we can connect with Ran is that cleansing ocean or body of water, salty tears, returning them back, because after all, she is the daughter of a sea goddess. All of this makes her uniquely positioned to have a human and mortal connection, to understand us when we need protection, when we need to flee a difficult situation, when we think all hope is lost and we need to be bolstered, and our hopes restored and not dashed, when we are grieving so wholly at the loss of someone or something that we are beyond consolation. She has that human connection, and the fact that she gave up those birthrights to have that human existence, to know that human love, and to know that great human loss. When drowning in grief, or when our soul parts are suffering, we reach out to Hlin and ask that she speak with the goddess Frigg, because that's what she does. She carries those messages back to Frigg and asks Frigg to bestow blessings upon us. She counsels Frigg about what it is we are suffering or going through, and that we need that help from Frigg for. They work together. She helps as that advisor. She listens. This is something people miss out a lot on. They think we need to go directly to one of the main deities and one of the main goddesses that are more popular. But they have handmaids and footmen for a reason, so that people can go to them more accessible, more frequently. There's us, and there's a lot of us, and there's a few of them. These handmaids are vital. And if we start looking back at these individual attributes and what gifts they have as they act as those intermediary advisors to Frigg, she's getting a lot of information. But like when Odin sends out Hugin and Munin, Frigg has her handmaidens that keep her well informed. So using Hlin as this intercession, she will help you on her own, but she can even go further. So it's calling upon the Mother, All-Mother Frigg as well, having that conversation, and then reaching out directly to Hlin to act as that intermediary, to advise Frigg, because that protection can be granted if it is asked for in the correct way, and if it's warranted and deserved. Now, as I said before, some things that you can offer to Hlin when speaking or working with her are your tears. Those salty tears of remembrance, or putting your feet, or letting your tears just pour. When you are on your knees crying, just ugly crying, she honors that. She accepts those tears and your words, because she understands that pain and what that grieving or loss or destruction or fear feel like, because she lived it with a mortal family. So reaching out to her through the sea and through your tears is one way that you can offer to her when you're looking for her guidance and counsel. Another way is to use objects of the people you've lost. Maybe it's something you've sewn out of a shirt that they used to wear, a pillow that they used to lay upon, or a piece of a blanket you covered them with. Maybe it's something you had from a loved one who passed away a long time ago. Maybe it's even a pet, perhaps. Who knows? Or we can create those blankets and those pieces that we sew together out of something that comes from our own home. It's another thing that we do as an offering to Frigg when we're asking who to watch over our homes and the family and all who dwell within our home. We give an offering of something that is of value in the home, something that's well used. Maybe it's a curtain, maybe it's a pillow, maybe it's a pillowcase that you particularly love, not something you're looking to get rid of. It's got to have value to you and have meaning to you and your family. Maybe it's a tablecloth you ate your meals on with your beloved. Who knows? But those are the things that we offer to Frigg. Those are the things we also offer to Hlin. And interestingly enough, where we see in the other handmaiden of Frigg, Sin, who is the protector of the door, who guards the gate, who guards the door, we rather see Hlin, the one who rushes forward, the one who spirits people away from danger and harm and brings them to safety and gives comfort. And again, we're going to go through the rest of these beautiful handmaids because they are each so important and they are so very missed out. And people wonder why they don't have that whole connection. They make us whole through their own trials, tribulations, through what they gave up, through what they sacrificed, and the gifts that they have, if we only know how to reach out. I hope you've enjoyed this next series that we just did here on the Handmaidens of Frigg on Hlin. The next one coming up will be Sin, and we will talk about she who protects the door, she who guards the way. Please let me know how you enjoyed the video. I hope you're looking more into these lovely handmaidens and how they help us with our own emotional intelligence, to help keep our soul parts together, to keep those puzzle pieces joined, to make us whole and complete. Without them, we wander. Until our Weird meets again, I wish you all blessings.